Good evening, all you awesome people out there. My name is Scott Churchton, alongside Mr. Davion Bussey. Rob Manning is currently on assignment, hanging out with the voice of Scooby-Doo for the last 25 years. So joining us tonight, we have a sports writer for NYCFC and Five Borough Footy, actor, stunt guy, and a guy who did 2 episodes of ObiWanKenobi, which we will be discussing at some point, Mr. Haylon Harroo. So, Haylon, you're brand new. How the heck are you, man?
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me on.
Our privilege, man. So we got a fair number of things that we're going to be talking about tonight. Word came down the grapevine this morning that late great Quincy Jones passed away yesterday at the age of 91. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that because we need to pay homage to the guy who created the theme to Sanford and Son. So amongst the thousands of things he did, we're going to hit up that one there. We're going to talk a little Joker too, because actually some interesting stuff came down the pipeline for that. As always, I will do a today in movie history to give you guys some hints to see if you can figure out the movie I'm referring to. But Haylon, how you doing first, man? In your case, you met me at Citi Field the other day.
Yeah. It was I saw you at Citi Field the other day. It was a good game for us. We're going back to Cincinnati now. And I've been doing like you said, you mentioned earlier, sports writing for the team. I have a little blog with my buddies. It's called Five Borough Footy, and we talk about as much as we can everything that's related to soccer in New York.
Yeah. So I do have to ask in this case here, I mean, you have some stunt work in this case from Wu-Tang, basically the Wu-Tang series, I think Blind Spot. You did 2 episodes of ObiWanKenobi, which we have to talk about a little bit here because you got my attention here. Background or not, honestly, that would have probably been badass anyway. So humor me, the Star Trek nerd since I'm sorry, in Star Trek nerd, but also Star Wars.
I gotta stop you right there. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, this feels ominous.
I was gonna say, is he bringing over like a fun coke?
It's a lightsaber. It's 100% a lightsaber.
Probably. I mean, Day has. I mean, obviously, you can see the collection.
No, it doesn't work.
I knew it.
Oh.
I knew it. Yo, I knew it.
All this build. Oh yeah, he has the dark saber too. All this build.
Dark saber.
It's like
Oh, that is fire.
That is so.
And that's new for me. As far as I've been a lover of the Star Wars lore for forever, since I was 10 years old. As far as the dark. Oh, there it is.
Wait.
And it's got the sounds too. It's got the sound.
Hey, move it. Move it around.
Oh, moving it around?
Swing it.
Oh, that is so fire.
That is, yeah. I thought I heard the sound effect on that. Dude. Yeah, I mean, he's got a dark saber. I mean, that's for anybody who has a dark saber gets the franchise.
Yeah.
Now, double impressive if you knew what a dark saber was before the Mandalorian. If you knew it from
right, yeah, I only learned it from the Mandalorian.
Fair, okay.
Yeah,
but in your case, basically, you've been an actor in this area for a while. You've done some stunt work and things like that. How's it going of late?
Of late, I can't complain. Stunt work. I've been working on. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Power universe.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've been working very closely with the stunt coordinator for that, and when I'm not actually doubling anyone, I'm simply coming in and helping. Do previs on fight scenes or shootouts or whatever the case may be.
Nice. And the good news is here in New York, there's a lot of stunt work to be found.
Yeah. There's quite a bit, at least with all the television shows, all the cop shows. There's a lot of driving, a lot of wrecks, a lot of stuff like that. So yeah.
What in your case, basically? I mean, I've done some stunt work, but not a ton of it. Probably not compared to you in this case. Fight stuff, high fall, fire. What's your
no fire yet? But I'm very excited to do it at some point. I haven't done a car hit. I feel like it's right around the corner. Like at some point, someone's gonna ask me to do that. The craziest thing I've done was surprise. I mean, for a lot of guys, what I'm about to say is really actually quite light, quite simple. But for me, it was pretty crazy. I did this show, a pirate show on HBO called Our Flag Means Death. And I had to do a fall where the guy is up on the sail trying to fix a sail and he loses his footing, he falls off. and clips the side of the rail of the ship. So I had to aim my legs to make sure that most of me was on the off side of the ship. And I did it like 8 times.
Wow.
And it was definitely like a toss me to the deep end type of thing because I hadn't done anything like that before that. So it's just like hey, that's kind of stunt work, really. It's like you don't find out really exactly what you're doing until day of, and then it's just figure it out.
Yep.
It's just figure it out. Yeah.
Sometimes if it's an intricate fight scene, obviously you've been prepped before. I mean,
for sure.
I had done some stuff like 10 years back with Gotham, and we got the pregame a fair bit in most cases. But a lot of times, obviously, you had some really massively intricate fight scenes, like the Jim Gordon stuff typically, and the rehearsals would happen while other scenes were going on. But the funny thing about stunt work is you're there sometimes in case the principal doesn't want to do it.
Totally, yeah.
So I remember like for Orange is the New Black, there's a weird thing when it comes to stunt work when you're driving. If the principal does not want to drive a car, there has to be a stunt guy available. So one of the stunt credits that I got for Orange is the New Black was to not drive a car because he's like, you know what, I'm going to do it. I got to take care of it. So I got paid $1,000 to sit there and watch someone else drive a car at 10 miles an hour. Not even like 30 or 40. It was just like leaving the prison facility. The Piper character is released from prison. The brother picks her up.
Yeah. And
then they just drive off at like 10 miles an hour. In case he didn't want to do it, there I was.
Yeah.
But
I remember one time I did the Mike Tyson show on Hulu, and I doubled it.
Right?
No, not the Jamie Foxx one. The guy from Moonlight, I forget his name, but the star, the older version of him, the aged up version of him, and he was playing the older Tyson, but I wasn't doubling him. I was doubling the teenage Tyson, which is a different actor altogether. And I was expecting to double him doing the fight scenes and all that, and he kind of wanted. This kind of happens a lot. They see that the production brought in a stunt guy, and then they're like, "Oh, I can do it. And then the actor kind of gets himself a little amped up to do it. And sometimes, they get talked off a ledge, and sometimes they go through with it and they do it. But in this case, it was basic fight scene choreo. So all I had to do on the day was teach him the choreo, run it through with him a couple times. Then they just on the spot decided on a fight scene sequence with me and him so that I can get on camera. So I was like just a nondescript fighter that he beat up in the prison at some point.
Oh.
Yeah. You're there basically so the good-looking hero can beat the crap out of somebody.
There you go. Yeah. Pretty much. He knocked me fully out.
Which, by the way, that's the other side of it too. If you have an inexperienced principal, like for example, there was a music video that I had done a while back, and the guy who beat the crap out of me was fine. The girl that we were trying to attack in the parking lot had no experience with it. So when you have an inexperienced person and they flail, a routine stunt choreography, things like that. It's very dance. It's very dance-like. It's very intricate.
It's very dancey. Very dancey. That's why there's some actors that like have a background in it, and they're low key very respected in the stunt community because word travels about how good they were and how adept they were at that stuff. An example is Chris Evans. Chris Evans has a background in ballet, and in the stunt community, he has a lot of respect because he's not only very good at picking up choreo, he's also really good at on the spot being like, hey, would this work better? And it's always some dope stuff. So, yeah.
Wow. With me, I do more independent work. So,
gotcha. Okay.
So, I get what you're saying because you would need somebody experienced to basically handle certain fight scenes, especially when it comes to throwing. Like, I actually had to show somebody. Like if you gotta be thrown, you have to tuck and roll, but make it look like you're getting thrown.
Yeah. You gotta protect yourself while making it look messy at the same time. It's organized chaos.
Correct.
Yeah. I did an independent film actually in August, or it was an independent film that was being made into a feature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but because of that transition, it was a low budget, so I consider it independent. Yeah, it was doubling. I was doubling the guy who did. I don't know if you remember the Jesse Owens movie, Race.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was also in If Beale Street Could Talk. He was that guy. Yeah, I doubled him. He's trying to get. It seems like he's trying to do more action stuff. So yeah, this was more of an action-y type of film. So yeah, they had me for that. Yeah. He wanted to do the driving, and they were like, "Nah."
You know, it's funny because I explained this, and you probably understand this. You know, people talk about the sugar cane glass, and glass bottles,
spun glass. Yeah,
it's always amazing because people are like, "Well, it doesn't hurt." I'm like, "Bullshit, it doesn't hurt."
I had on that film. I had them. I had to. So the gag was I'm driving the car as him, and he's arguing with the girlfriend, and the girlfriend takes a Coke bottle that she's drinking from and bashes it over his head, and then I swerve, he swerves, and rear ends a pickup truck. So I'm getting bashed in the head with a sugarcane glass. Cameras in the back seat, director, camera operators in the back seat, and I have to swerve and rear end a pickup truck. And yeah, so on the second one, there's the stunt girl for the girlfriend. She hits me so hard, and like her hand kind of, I think, grazes. It grazed like a shard. So there's like a little thing over my eye. Everyone was like, "Are you okay?" They get so panicky, but like,
well, it was funny because the first time, because I had no idea. You know, the first time I got hit with this stuff, I was naive. But then it's funny because the second take, you can kind of see me cringe a little bit, like a split second before. After a while, when they keep hitting the same spot on the side of your head, with the bottle repeatedly, that bastard hurts, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I walked away from the stunt industry because of the concussions, the torn rotator cuff, herniated disc, sprained knee, sprained foot. I got clocked with the butt of a rifle right up the jaw because, again, you get someone who doesn't know what they're doing and they come straight up with it and just uppercut of the jaw. And, it's like after a while, it's like, dude, I'm 49. I can't keep doing this.
Yeah, it's tough.
So you deal with a lot of actors that don't know what they're doing, or is it just also other stunt people for the both of y'all that don't know?
I mean, I'm sure you guys know this. There's incompetent people in every walk of life. So like, obviously more often than not, that's why you hire a stunt person, because they have a better sense of coordination, spatial, depth perception and all that stuff. So better reactions. So they bring us in to
hello from Toronto.
Oh, nice, cool. Yeah. My point is that, like, yeah, there's good stunt people, and there's I'm sure there's bad stunt people here and there. But more often than not, the actors, at least now in my opinion, if I'm going to speak bluntly, actors are exactly just that. They're just actors. They're not, they would never really. It's a surprise if they're good at movement. This is basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's the amazing thing about it, because they are trained and really good at stuff like that. And sometimes you get the ones that have the dual training in some cases, and you feel okay with that. But
Keanu Reeves is a guy who he trains jiu-jitsu for him. Like, that guy, he picks up choreo really well, and he's a hard worker. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because Keanu Reeves is a stunt guy. He has like two stunt guys predominantly, one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast, and they just travel. So all the John Wick movies, whichever side of the country he was on, and he might have an international, but when he did the John Wick movies, the first three movies here in the New York area, it was the same stunt guy every time.
Yeah, I think it's the same stunt guy. I mean, I'm not sure if Chad does it anymore, but the guy that doubled him throughout all the Matrix movies, at least, was this guy named Chad Stahelski, and he's one of the owners and founders of 8711, who they're the stunt team that does any, like, the John Wick movies, the Deadpool movies, the Deadpool Wolverine recently, that, like, anything where you've looked at a fight scene and was like, God damn, that's 8711. Yeah. And they also did Obi-Wan.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna get to Obi-Wan in a second, because I am curious about that. But I remember Jackie Chan always used to talk about the way you can tell if someone is good at stunt work or not is whether the camera is basically a wide or it's a tight. because on a wide shot, if you ever watch Jackie Chan, the fight goes on, or Jet Li or any of those guys in the East, the camera is a wide shot like this, so you can see everything as it's happening, the choreography. There was a Chinese martial arts film that we did. We had a 1-minute fight scene with 9 guys nonstop. Mm-hmm. We knocked that thing out in 3 hours because everything was just so choreographed. But when you have fighters that are not trained in stunt work, you see a lot of quick cuts and things like this. You see dark lighting. You see things that mask their skill set.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That's unfortunately one of the indictments on the Christopher Nolan Batman movies.
Yeah,
is that a lot of
that was my first major stunt role? Okay, Dark Knight Rises was one of my first. I will always defend.
I had some friends that were on there.
I die. Yeah,
were you in the big the courthouse fight scene? That big brawl?
The march fight scene, yeah. So we did 2 days of fight rehearsals on that, 2 days of filming, and it was chaos because they got in order to get people for the Saturday, they brought in people that responded via Craigslist. Who'd never set a foot on a movie set before, just to fill the back end of it, because right. Not CGI. So they had all of these guys that were just like, cool, I'm in a Batman movie. And they just bypassed all the training we did. They ran right up to the front of the camera, undid everything that we did. I got knocked down. I was nearly trampled on.
Wow.
I mean, a dude.
They just did what they wanted to do.
Yeah. And Nolan was getting pissed, not just for that, but because they kept running by the camera and looking at the camera like this. And please stop looking at the camera. And
that's so funny.
That's actually where I sprained my knee on, because somebody just ran into my knee and took it out like that. So, I mean, I
didn't hear this story off of that. That's crazy.
You do see me, actually. It's funny because in the end, when it's like, so you came back to die with your city. No, I came back to stop you. You see me, you see the back of me and another guy going at it, because we had to redo my fight scene because I was part of a group called the Tigers, which was supposed to be part of the Inner Circle. But that clearly was the second day of fighting because I couldn't operate the knee anymore. So we revamped the fight scene on the fly. Second day was safer than the first. But, that was, dude, when I left, I cried. I was on the train back to New Jersey, and I was just in tears about how awesome that was.
Oh, wow. Dude, yeah. That's bucket list. That's childhood dream right there. That's
dude,
Batman.
Yes.
That's Batman.
So, yes, I will always defend that movie till the day I die.
I mean, we could talk about, it's funny, sometimes a movie will come out and it won't be well received, and then you'll find out years later that actually it was all right. You know what I mean? It was all right for that's how we feel about episode 1, and there it has its criticisms, and some of them are fair. But in retrospect, there's a lot of good things that they got, the
fight scenes were obviously spectacular. The movie Duel,
of course,
the music Duel of the Fates was great. There was a lot that went for it. It was just, it had its problems, and I think it tried to be too operatic in some ways. That's why the dialogue felt clunky.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking in your case of Obi-Wan, what happened there? You got to tell me.
That was coming off of.
Which you're allowed to tell me anyway, because it is Disney.
No, it's been out for 2 years now. Yeah, so
dude, I know what the NDAs for Disney and Marvel are like.
So that was coming off of COVID, and there were obviously no productions. And then my buddy Daniel Graham, who doubled Black Panther. And the Black Panther film and Infinity War, parts of Infinity War, and I don't think he did Endgame, but yeah, he's Black Panther. He suggested that I come out to LA and train with him and try to get back into the stunt industry, because I had stepped away for a couple years. And so I went out there and we trained a lot, and then finally Obi-Wan opportunity popped up. And it was an amazing couple weeks. So I was part of an elite defense force of the planet where they apparently put all the black people, and it was 10 stunt people. There was 200, maybe 300 background, I'm probably undershooting it because there were like quite a few stormtroopers. They had like these guys who they were like super fans who had made their own stormtrooper suits, and they let them bring their wear their stormtrooper suits and come through. And it was just, I thought that was so cool that they did that for them. And so yeah, that we're on the soundstage in South Central LA, not South Central, but like Central LA. And yeah, we filmed like a couple scenes where the Empire finds them on the planet, and there's a chase down a tunnel. And I remember at one point we ran this tunnel probably like, dude, honestly, like between 15 and 20 times. My guess is like 16. Between 15 and 20 times we ran down it. Like, we're talking sprinting, stopping, turning to shoot, all this stuff. And the shots were, I'm on the right of Obi-Wan, this other stunt guy's on the left of him. We have rifles covering him, and he's like deflecting the bullets or whatever, the laser shots. Thank you, the blaster fire. And I just remember, like, in the moment, I looked to my left, and like when they're doing anything that's non-contact, it's a real saber that's lit up like yours, right?
Yeah.
And so it's Obi-Wan in the robes with the beard and the hair, and he's like a foot from me, and he's twirling, and I'm like, oh my! If 10-year-old me could see this right now, he would lose it. And then there was like, at the end of the shot, we get behind these blast doors because we have to escape from the stormtroopers, and he comes behind the blast doors with us, so we're out of the scene. There's nothing else is required of us. So we do this like 15 times, and Ewan McGregor is leading up. It's me, him, and the other stunt guy that's like the closest to the doors. And so he's leaning up against the door, and he's huffing and puffing. He's like sweating, and then he looks up at me, and he goes, he's like, "I'm getting too old for this shit." I started dying. I was like, because I know, like, you're like, how old is he now? He must have been in his late 40s at the time. Like, he was. That's another actor that's very good with movement and learning choreo and all of that. Sorry for cursing just now, by the way, but I just wanted to,
no shit, don't worry about
it. Yeah, but yeah, it was definitely a nice way to come back into the industry with being in the Star Wars universe now. So, yeah.
Nice. Was it under an alias name, or was it straight up Obi-Wan?
Oh, it was called Joshua Tree.
That was Joshua Tree. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a casting notice for Joshua Tree. And I figured, okay, that's got to be an alias for something, especially when it comes to like anything Marvel Disney, because they never come out with that. I mean, I think like the one of the Spider-Man movies was like Summer of George.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I think Amazing Spider-Man 1 or 2, I forget which, was under the name Summer of George.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because George Costanza's from Queens, and obviously Peter Parker's from Queens, so that was the tie-in there. Yeah, Dark Knight Rises was Magnus Rex. Men in Black 3 was Men in Black 3.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, they didn't care on that one at all. But yeah, sometimes you get these aliases, and obviously I know with Disney and Marvel, the NDAs that are involved, the amount of script you get is tiny. They give you, I've studied on like Jessica Jones and the rest of them. They give you what you need to know and nothing else.
Yeah. I like, because I was, they kind of looped me into the fight team stuff for the power shows like Ghost and Kanan. I was getting, like, even when I was not like I wasn't supposed to be on set or whatever, I would still be getting the weekly emails and the sides and all that stuff. And I remember I would look at it anyways, just out of curiosity, and I'd be like, am I supposed to legally know this? Like, do they know that I have a copy, that I'm copied into these emails? Yeah.
Eventually,
to your point.
Yeah. Eventually they'll figure out you don't, but you get that PDF, you sit there and read the next, you read like 2 or 3 episodes a day. It's what I did with Gotham. They would just send out the mass email, and then you just read like 2 episodes ahead to find out what's happening with the storyline. It was a fun 45 minutes while you're reading this thing.
Wow. Yeah. I've heard a lot of good stories out of the Gotham set. That like Yeah, that and the Daredevil set. It was some of the same guys.
Yeah, Daredevil, I had nothing to do. I mean, I brought a car, things like that, just light driving and whatnot. But yeah, but Gotham, they blow stuff up. They blew up stuff a lot.
Oof.
I mean, I that's where I saw a guy catch on fire. It's like episode 4 or 5 of season 2. They literally set a dude on fire. Someone else, basically, they had the high fall stuff. They had a tractor trailer plow into the side of a cop car while I was there, and it's like, oh, dude, like you're talking about 10-year-old self.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a lot of Fratter days on that, and that was tough.
Wow.
Because we would have the Thursdays that would go to 2 a.m. and the Friday nights would go to like 7 a.m. Saturday. But yeah, it was, but nice. Yeah, appreciate it, man. I don't know how long you can stay on. You're welcome to stay. You're welcome to go.
Yeah. If you guys are going to chat a little bit about some films or, anything.
Well, I was gonna pop over to Quincy Jones. I do have some film related oddities as well. So you're welcome to stay as long as you want. As long as basically I don't bore you too badly. But
no. This is fun.
Cool. All right, cool.
Yeah,
you know what? Let me shake it up. Day, do you have anything to add or anything?
No, it's just like y'all are a book of information for someone that is. I'm an independent, but knowing how it is in the actual industry compared to the independent is similar, but it's gained more knowledge than just
you know what I love about the independent, and I want to get more involved in doing my own projects or just projects, other people's projects, like privately.
Yeah.
Is I was watching, there's this YouTube channel, stunt guys that watch like fight scenes and all that. I can't remember. Oh, Stuntman React.
Yeah.
And one time he was talking about how when it comes to forming a fight team for a project that he's coordinating on, he said he goes on YouTube and he searches up people's work and like their personal work. And he's like, the reason for that he seeks out people that do that, or like through those means, is because it tells him that they're passionate and that they work at their craft. You know what I mean? He doesn't just go on an IMDb or stunt listing or something like that. Like, he wants to see what your creative capabilities are,
Wow.
And that stuck with me, man. That made me realize, like, I can't just be a guy that knows martial arts or how to choreograph something. I can't just be a guy that can fall down. Like, you have to be a creative. You have to be willing to create and put yourself out there and be risk being critiqued. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I really want to get involved in making stuff with other people in that way.
What is your martial arts style or training?
Well, my first martial art was Ryu Shotokan Karate. I have my 3rd degree black belt in that.
Nice.
And shortly before I got my 3rd degree black belt in that, I got my 1st degree black belt in WTF Taekwondo. And then maybe 5, 6 years after that, I started teaching mixed martial arts. Through that, I was learning just through private sessions with one of the other instructors. I started learning jiu-jitsu. I never formally trained it, never got a belt in it. But I have an understanding of it. And yeah, that's, when you do martial arts, there's not many career opportunities, right? It's like you
UFC dojo.
Right. Yeah. You go to the UFC, you open a dojo, or you become a vigilante. And I don't have the health cover. I didn't have the health insurance for the 3rd one. So, and I didn't want to be a business owner. Not in this.
No Phoenix Jones on this one.
And stunts really was calling the whole time. My buddy, my buddy who Double Black Panther, he opened a martial arts school. I opened it with him in Florida. And that was very short lived. That was maybe 6 to 8 months. And then he said, this is not for me either. Like, he moved out to LA and gave stunts a try. And yeah, here we are.
Wow.
Well, the good news is the industry's coming back bit by bit now. The strikes last year were really rough. That went way longer than I think any of us expected today.
Absolutely. I feel like it went long. Yeah, you're right. It probably, I just didn't think that it was going to go for an entire year, but yeah. But it really wasn't the greatest thing that happened. But like you said, it's coming back. But from what I'm hearing, a lot of things are shifting production wise. Like films are starting to move out to Europe now.
Yep.
Television shows are staying because it's very sustained money, easy money. Everyone loves to use New York as a backdrop, or Atlanta's a very affordable place to film something. So yeah,
Truth.
that's television shows are never really, you're not going anywhere.
Even basically Jersey can mimic New York a lot too. So
yeah,
for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. That's where I filmed that one low budget film. It was in Jersey.
Nice. So all right. Well, I appreciate that part of it.
Yeah.
I want to.
If at any point, by the way, I've overstayed, I don't mean to cut you off. If at any point I've overstayed, let me know. I can, let you guys get back to your thing. But I'm happy to stay.
No, if you want to do the thing, it's okay. Get your thoughts on the thing. Well, in this case, this is the thing I was going to be bringing up here. So, Joker 2. Now we have talked at length about Joker 2 and the miasma that basically was this movie. Joker 2 has set the record for the lowest box office of any movie that is a sequel to a $1 billion movie.
Wow.
As you can see on there, the Marvels was at 206, Joker is at 201, and it's pretty much dead stopped there.
Wow.
Oh my days.
Yeah. The reason I'm bringing this up and the reason I said it's going the Fall Guy route is because it's now available on streaming. It went to HBO Max a week ago, 3 weeks after the movie was released, which is the exact thing that Fall Guy did.
Gosh. And you know what the messed up, I don't know how to feel about it, but like the connectivity of the internet, it's made like I didn't have to ever see the movie to know exactly what people thought about it. You know what I mean? There used to be a time where word did not travel as fast. So to find out a movie was bad, you had to actually go see it. Your friends might come and tell you, I saw Cliffhanger the other day and da-da-da-da. And you're like, you know what? I still kind of want to go see it myself and form my own opinion. But now, like TikTok and Instagram, and you're seeing the clips immediately within a week of it being released, and these think pieces, and it's just, it kills it dead in the water, like really quickly. So
Day, I mean, he got the red carpet premiere for Venom 3 for Last Dance.
Oh,
and he had Day. You had how many days ahead before the release of the movie did you get the screening of that? Like a week?
Like a week, yeah.
Yeah. So
what did you think?
I liked it. I really enjoyed it. It was I really enjoyed it. But like I tell people, everybody go see it for yourself. I tell people that, because my opinion may not be your opinion.
Yeah.
You like
I hear you on that.
Yeah.
Which is funny because some people, one comment was like, dude, are you out of your mind? I hated it because of this. And you're like, I love it because of this, and this.
Oh, wow. And it's been other films I reviewed and I went to advanced screenings for and put in my review, and people like, yay. And what makes you think this film was good? And I'm like, because it was a different experience.
And by the same token, that's not to say you like them all, because I remember distinctly Expendables 4, you're like,
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, anything that's the fourth one of a franchise,
barring say a John Wick or something.
What did you think of the Joker one? What did you think of Joker 2?
I didn't see it.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet. Okay. Do you plan on seeing it at all?
I'm planning on seeing it, but I wanted to see it to see how bad people were really trying to trash this film and see if it was true. But the problem is, like I tell people, is when you do musicals, is it has to make sense.
Right. Yeah.
If it doesn't make sense, then why do a musical? But there's some other stuff I'm not going to go into because I have my own opinion about it, and the director had voiced his opinion, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to keep that.
Well, it was one of those movies that I felt he was using as an audition tape for future musicals. I think history will be more kind to it later. So
I thought he did it because he just wanted to not do it. He was like, "Look, I didn't want to do it. So what's the best way to basically show my disapproval of this film? Make it into a musical."
There's so many possible reasons why they leaned so hard in that direction. Like, reason one could be, I mean, he's trying to stand out creatively, right? He's trying to do something. He's trying to subvert expectations. We have a certain level of expectation for what we think a Joker movie is, and that's not it. The musical is not it, right? So, but there's that. But then there's also the Joker. At least Joaquin Phoenix's Joker has become like a symbol for certain people in a bad way. And perhaps it was in the effort of kind of divorcing, that from the film and the character,
Right.
Because it's going to upset that group. It's going to upset those that took him as a symbol of them. So
I think he just didn't care.
You think he just didn't? He just phoned it in.
I think it's one of those things that basically they just threw a bunch of money at him. He's like, all right, fine. I'll do the movie that I want to do. But in this case, like I said, when you throw $200 million on this thing, I think in time history will be kinder to this movie, and people are like, okay, you know what? I like the dance numbers. It's like you said before, sometimes you see a movie and you have a knee-jerk reaction. Fans hated Empire Strikes Back when it came out. Hardcore.
Yeah.
They hated Star Trek too. And then history has been like, okay, you know what? Maybe not so bad.
Yeah.
I think Joker will get the same treatment.
I'm looking at this list here. Freaking Attack of the Clones is 24th. Yeah. That's my favorite one.
Oh, wow.
Attack of the Clones.
That's my favorite one of the
really? Okay.
Of the three, just of the episode 1, 2, 3. That's my favorite one.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that was also 2002, so it's not like it was that. I mean, that's a while back too.
That's true.
But yeah, so actually, it is now ranked for 30th at this point as the lowest rated, lowest box office of any movie that had a sequel that was $1 billion.
Wow. Black Panther Wakanda Forever is at 20.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
No Chadwick Boseman. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, there's only so much you can do with a movie like that.
Do you recast that?
Wow. Day, I want to turn this over to you in this case because I'm going to have to think about that question. So I'm throwing you under the bus. See if you have an answer while I think about my own answer there.
Okay, repeat that question again.
Does your caption say downscale actor?
Yes, downscale. Well, that's the way they describe me in the industry. It's downscale.
Do you recast Black Panther? Do you recast T'Challa?
I would say yes, on the basis of the story, and I think a lot of people preferred him to be recasted. I think it was rushed, and I think the director or the production company kind of was confused at the situation of his passing, and they just felt like, let's rush Shuri into the Black Panther, which is like kind of lazy, and it was kind of rushed too soon. They should have recast the character. And who they should have recast, I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Damson Idris.
Who?
Damson Idris, Snowfall.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
British actor. He could pull off, an African dialect,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say that's one option.
I can see that definitely in this case.
Yeah.
And they did it before with what's his face?
War Machine, Brody.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that was
like they just They just dumped it on us. Yeah, no worries. They just dumped that on us, and they even did a little nod to it in the film, where as he's walking into the courtroom, Rhodey goes, I can't remember what he said exactly, but he was like, "Yeah, I know. Let's not talk about it." And then let's just get to this. And it's just like, I love that. Let's just keep it moving. Keep it moving. No, but that, I mean, obviously not to be. It's a different level of sensitivity to that. Mm-hmm. But my point is, it's more so that like the character is so valuable. Like the character to so many people. Like it was the first time I didn't even realize how much different it was. Like my favorite superhero had always been Batman and Spider-Man, right? And I never thought of it as I can't be Batman or I can't be Spider-Man, or that I saw any difference between me and Bruce Wayne or Peter Parker. I didn't see a difference. I was just like, oh, I can jump, I can climb, I can do this, I can wear a cape, right? It's different when you see someone that represents you a little bit more closely on the screen. It impacts you way differently. And I didn't realize it until it was a reality, until like the lead up to the film and actually watching the film. And I don't know, it's just I obviously it needed to be something delicate, handled something that was handled delicately. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't think it was out of the question to recast him. But they handled it how they handled it, and we move.
I don't personally have.
Hey, that's not
Rob. No, Kyle, just so you know, Rob is actually he's hanging out with the voice of Shaggy and Scooby-Doo right now, Scott Innes. So so basically another excuse for him to use the opportunity to use his voice here. But yeah, he's doing some event there. Actually, Haylon, in this case, I actually ran into him at Citi Field the other night. He saw the show. He's like, and I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever will come on, pop in. So here we go. But as far as my opinion, I think they did the right thing by not recasting in this case. I think if the movie was released a little bit later and allowed people to maybe process a little bit, it would not have felt like a rush job. Where, I mean, if you had like an extra year or two to prepare, let people adapt, accept it, and be like, okay, we're going to recast it in this particular case because of X, Y, and Z. Enough time has passed. But his passing didn't give them enough time to work with. And if they did immediately recast it, it would have felt disingenuous. So to me, it was a no-win scenario, and they did the best they could with it. So I don't really blame them for going the Shuri route with that. It's just,
and the rush nature of it, by the way, is they have a schedule, and I think that's the one thing that really trips them up a lot. They have this whole schedule, this timeline that they want to keep up with, and it's trying to stick to that schedule really threw them off.
Now, I will say this: we do have Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Who could say we will have Shuri Black Panther against another variant of Black Panther? And I'm not talking about Michael B. Jordan's Black Panther, another Black Panther.
Like T'Challa,
Howard.
That would be so good.
That would be like, what? Really? Wait, or
Beige Panther.
Denzel Washington.
You mean his son?
Huh?
You mean Denzel's son?
No, he's a Denzel.
Denzel.
90-year-old Denzel?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Denzel is still Equalizer. He has that movie coming out around Yankee Stadium, whatever it is. That's that fight scene movie he's got coming out, I think, later next year. I think he
can still move.
Here's the thing. Amazingly, Denzel has not been in an MCU. There's certain actors you're like, how the hell have they not been in an MCU movie yet?
Yeah.
I think it's, I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah.
You got Harrison Ford now. It's like, who else is left?
Yeah, that's true. I would say his son, John David Washington.
Good work.
Yeah, Tenet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff in Tenet was like, okay, you can do some action.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's swing over here if you don't mind. I think we ran that one. I think we got that one in this case. The word came down the pipeline at this point. I'm trying to do two things at once. Sorry about that. To his credit, the late Quincy Jones passed away recently. at the age of 91. So no mocking, no argument there. That's a good run for a guy.
Yeah.
One of the most famous music producers in history. And we typically don't talk about music too much here, but when it ties into everything else that he's done, Day, I think you and I talked a little bit about this as well, because Kyle had broken that originally. Thoughts, if either one of you guys have one?
I would say Quincy Jones is one of those pioneers that elevated music. And then not only that, produced a lot of shows that basically focus on the Black culture. Like you said, Sanford Son. You had the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, to name a few. So when he did We Are the World, he did a couple of bangers. And then he collabed with Michael Jackson and did a couple of bangers with him. So this guy actually is the epitome of musical genius.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically helped raise and created music, R&B music. He got a bunch of R&B people together and We Are the World.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people. Oh my God, yeah.
Like.
So, according to that one piece, some of the biggest artists in the world and LaToya Jackson.
Yeah.
Hey, you got Dan Aykroyd in there too. Okay, Dan Aykroyd sang backup.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Ray Charles, Lionel Richie.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen's in there. Bob Dylan,
Santa
Kenny
Claus,
Rogers. Michael Jackson's in the corner. Yeah. I was gonna say Lindsey Buckingham in the back. Kenny Loggins in the back.
Is that what's that group name? Hall and Oaks.
Yeah. Hall and Oates.
Yeah. Daryl Hall, John Oates are here and there.
Yeah.
Huey Lewis is just to the next, just side of Kenny Loggins there. Or Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Loggins. That's the name I was trying to remember. Yeah. I'm like, what's that guy's name?
Yeah, Kenny Loggins, Kenny Rogers, and also Huey Lewis right next to Kenny Rogers on his left. Lionel Richie on the other side.
Cyndi Lauper in bottom left.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a panel right there, man.
He
always had that ability.
Yeah.
Dionne Warwick right there. Wow.
Yep, Dionne Warwick. Yep. To collaborate that. Now, in this case, when I was born in 75. Haylon, when were you born? Day, I know you're
87.
too young for this one. What's that?
87.
Okay. And I was born in 86.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you guys were born just after this. I remember when We Are the World came out because I was in 4th, 5th grade, I think at that point, something like that. And that impact was just mind-blowing because we hadn't seen something this big. Because, when you grow up in the 80s, there were like the 80s people, especially early 80s before like you hit like Guns N' Roses, Metallica. This was it. This was the king of it. And then towards the end, you've got backups. Billy Joel's doing backups. I think like Nancy Sinatra. I think there was so many backups being done. Dan Aykroyd, like I said, of all people, was actually seeing backup music on this. But it was such a monumental thing for its time.
Yeah, this was the Avengers Endgame of music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's huge. That was huge back then. And that's, again, like you said, it's Quincy Jones.
Yeah, I was about to say, Quincy Jones, you said he's a musical genius. I agree with that completely. But like, if you're observing, if you really look at all of the things that Quincy Jones has influenced or touched over the years, like he has always fully understood. He's had his finger on the pulse of Black culture and what does the Black American experience sound like, and what type of story. Excuse my cat there. She's she wants to be a part of it. What type of story are we do we want to try to tell? You know what I mean? And I don't know, he always knew how to put the right people together to, like, if the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air changed people's perceptions of what a Black family can look like. That was that's one of his creative babies that he, you know what I mean, that he was instrumental in. So it's I feel like it's a little, it's music, it's culture, it's all the arts, man. He's a source. He's one of those rare sources. And yeah, like we feel his loss for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
And I brought up to somebody that losing him is like losing like one of the biggest relics of our decades.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you will learn from time and time.
Yeah.
I don't think we lost him because his legacy is on.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
have him around to tell the stories that he told, to do the things he did.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. The actual experience and being there with him.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's crazy to think he outlived Michael, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just hit me just now. I just realized that.
You know.
And Prince.
Yes. And of course, also to be mentioned as well, he's also the father of Rashida Jones as well, the well-known actress and comedian. So often forgotten about a little bit here too. Picture the two of them together.
Yeah.
But yeah, age of 91 is nothing to sneeze at in that regard.
Yeah.
And he had nothing to be. No, I don't want to. You lived honorable. You got people remembering you, even people younger than me that knows your name.
Sure.
For sure. Yeah.
So
at the very least, your work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously, even a 10-year-old kid knows Fresh Prince.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the most famous. It's one of the most famous TV show intros of all time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, 91 years old is nothing to sneeze at. So Quincy Jones, thank you for being awesome, man.
Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna grab a quick.
Right. But yeah, Quincy Jones is.
Yeah.
We honor you.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I got
cheers.
Water. I got water.
I have an empty water bottle. It has air in it. So
cheers to Quincy Jones.
So we here at Tales of the Film Set do not condone alcoholism, but drinking alcohol. However, we really need to get. However, we need to get better.
That's a lie.
We need to fix that at some point. Dude, I've plowed through like a bottle of red wine on some of these shows sometimes because it's just like I don't care, not as much as I used to, but no ish there. But yeah, like I said, Quincy Jones, thank you, man.
Thank you.
I only have one other thing on tap. I don't know if you guys had anything else, but usually what I'll try to roll with is a today in TV history, today in movie history. I am deliberately ambiguous with what I give the hints as. So I'd be curious to see if you can pull this one off. Okay. Jay, you know the rules on this one, right?
Yep.
You know the rules, and so do I. Okay. So this movie released 23 years ago today. Cast members included a future Weird Al Yankovic, a previous Monty Python, an actor who once played the voice of God, and went by two different names, one in Europe and one in the U.S.
I think I got an idea what it is.
The voice of God. Could you?
Huh? Go ahead.
Okay.
Genre of film? Is that too much?
Yes, it does have a genre of film. Yes.
VHS.
What's that?
VHS.
That's a good shout. That's a good shout.
It was released on VHS, but no, it's not VHS.
Are you saying the
movie was released in theaters? The movie had its red carpet premiere in London, by the way, 23 years ago today.
23 years ago, 2001.
It would eventually have 7 sequels.
Not Saw.
No. This is more kid friendly than Saw.
Oh, is it? Okay. 7 sequels.
It also had an.
Oh, you might have just gave it.
It also had an actress that just passed recently, of also in her 90s.
Oh, wait. And he said what it has 7
Somebody just passed. Oh God, why am I blanking?
I know who he's talking about, but I'm still kind of baffled.
It was also the movie that launched the career of a future Belle.
Of a future Belle?
Yes.
As in like Belle, Beauty and the Beast?
Yes.
Oh, not Harry Potter.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
The 2001. The 2001.
Yes, because it had the Sorcerer's Stone here in the States, and over in the UK, it was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Yeah, it was released to red carpet 23 years ago today. Daniel Radcliffe was paid a whopping $240,000 for that movie. Which boy,
that's still a lot. That's a lot for a kid of age 10.
He also, like I said, he would later go on and play Weird Al Yankovic in UHF.
I did not know that.
Yes, he actually does a really good job because it was a good parody of Weird Al by really making him like a dramatic sort of thing where he's doing cocaine and he's dating Madonna, all this stuff that clearly never happened, but he was so good at it. At the same time, Alan Rickman, who was the voice of God in Dogma. Rickman.
I was tempted
to possibly say Hans Gruber, but I thought that would be too easy.
You should have said
Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber, yes. I was also going to say he was also basically in Galaxy Quest. I could have mentioned that one.
Yeah. I think if you wouldn't say Hans Gruber, I would have got it.
The voice of God one I locked in on because I was like, there's only but so many who portrayed like the voice of God that were memorable.
Yes.
Oh, Alan Rickman, I forgot in Dogma.
Yes, and Dame Maggie Smith was also in it as Professor McGonagall.
Oh, yeah.
Great movie. Yeah. So that was the one who just recently passed.
Maggie Smith. Yeah. Yes. Oh, my goodness.
Yes. And then,
of course,
that's
a good one, man.
Thanks. Yeah. Like I said, 23 years ago today, the first movie was released.
And he beat my winning streak.
Yeah, there you go. but that movie went on to make just over $1 billion, $125 million budget. So definitely worth it there.
Days. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So and apparently Daniel Radcliffe was noticed while he was sitting in a theater production watching something else, and Chris Columbus was like, "Dude, come work for me, be Harry Potter, please." Because also additional fun fact, there was another kid that was cast as Harry Potter. He's an American actor, and J.K. Rowling was, I only want British actors. So this kid lost out on the role that made Daniel Radcliffe famous and stupidly wealthy.
Hot take. I kind of agree with her.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree either.
Yeah.
I think Jeremy Piven, might have had a background role. There was a couple of Americans that had background roles in it. But all the way through top to bottom was all British or UK.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Oh, wow. That was good. I enjoyed that.
So, all right, gentlemen. I don't know if I have anything else at this point. I'm not sure if you guys do. But
I kind of wanted one question to squeeze in here.
Sure.
Your horror movie Rushmore. So give me 4 that represent your favorite tastes when it comes to horror films, since it's the season of spook.
For the record, I don't do horror films at all.
Really?
I really don't. I will die. I will die in 100 horror films. I do not really watch any because I am a real chicken shit. I'm a total cat. I am an absolute cat.
My wife is very afraid of horror films as well.
So it got to be.
She will not watch them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to go with my favorite as a kid growing up watching it, The Evil Dead.
Okay.
Oh.
Safe bet. Yeah.
Number 2, he knows what I always dress up as for Halloween or Comic-Con. Ghostface from Scream.
Scream. That's a good shout. Yeah. It revitalized the slasher series.
Yes.
Yeah. The slasher genre. Sorry.
Number 3, I love John Carpenter, but this one made you really think of who the killer or who was infected. The Thing.
I was going to say, The Thing? Yep. Because we did the horror tier last week, and I was like,
that's a good shout. That's a good shout. I like
and if
that.
I want to bring it to the hood, I got to say Tales from the Hood.
No, don't do that. Oh, my goodness.
No, come on. When the guy played the cemetery dude. I mean, not the cemetery. The mortician at the funeral home, and then you find out he was the devil. Oh, that was the greatest thing in that movie.
You know,
that's such a silly twist, man.
If you're gonna put a gun to my head in this case and ask me what, Final Destination has to be up there, because I don't do entrapment movies at all. The Ring. I love The Ring. I was not scared at all in The Ring. I was really the only one in the theater who never got scared by it, because I loved, like, oh dude, that's so, how everything tied together with like the indie film, and I love that one. Final Destination, yeah, that one freaked me out because I can't do entrapment movies. My worst nightmares that I ever have are always stuff like that. Friday the 13th, I do have a warm spot for, because
there you go.
As a kid, I used to sleep in the campgrounds where they filmed Camp Crystal Lake. It's in West Jersey, in a town called Blairstown in the middle of Sussex County. A campground called Nobi Bosco, and I used to spend like both summers and also winters there in the camp. Like I slept like in the cot where, like, I think it was who was it? Who's the one that got stabbed through the throat? Kevin Bacon?
I don't know.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon, when he gets it through the throat.
Dude.
Yeah, so I went. So I've been in those campgrounds too, and as a result, I have a little bit of a warm spot for that.
Are you allowed to shoot still at that setting?
Yeah, you can. You have to get the Jersey permits and everything like that. But yeah, I believe you can still do it. It is a restricted campground site, so you have to get a permission from them specifically. But they might not let you, film in that exact location, because it has sort of become like a museum preserve.
Gotcha.
Because they do tours of that area. But yeah, back in the 80s, when they were only on like Friday the 13th, 3 or 4, we used to still sleep there because it was a running campground.
Oh.
Yeah.
3. So 3 and 4, if you can come up with a third and fourth.
So I gotta have a third and a fourth, huh? Saw I couldn't handle. I know I can't handle it. Hellraiser I found fun. I wasn't
never saw that one.
I wasn't scared of Hellraiser, but I enjoyed it. We had done a charity event for like an after school program for kids with special needs, and we watched a bunch of horror stuff there, and Hellraiser was one of them. And that didn't bother me at all. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street wouldn't work. Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, no. What's that?
Except for that Netflix one, which pissed me off.
Yeah.
It pissed me off. No, it was good, but it's just the
we all know the cast, and we've all interviewed the cast of Terrifier at one time or another. I will never see a Terrifier movie.
Yeah, I will never. That's not my
Art the Clown movie. I'm sorry. We got a guy.
And I love horror movies.
We got a guy named Austin who is such a massive fan of Terrifier. I'm just like, dude, you go have fun with that. I'll be over here basically watching Sesame Street.
No, thank you, man.
No,
I'm gonna sit here and watch anime.
I'll watch it. Like, I watched 1 and 2, and also I got a Funko Pop of Terrifier. the Clown.
If we we'll talk. If we did another charity event, I would be willing to do it. I would be willing to muscle through
Terrifier.
I would, or something of those likes. Yes, if we did another,
I would watch it. Yeah.
I would be willing to do another one for the right charity cause. Maybe I'll talk about that for 2025 in this particular case. I'm not sure. I'll think about it, but we are due to do another charity event, and anything to basically make me feel uncomfortable for other people getting money.
My 4 would probably be Hereditary, which perfect horror film.
Okay.
The Witch. The Invitation.
Well, he's going really esoteric with some of these.
Yeah.
I don't think
these are more psychological type.
Yeah.
The Invitation is more psychological.
Yeah,
for sure. But The Witch and Hereditary, those two are flat out horror films. Horror films. Yeah. And the Babadook.
Okay.
It takes the boogeyman trope, which shouldn't be scary, and it just makes it terrifying. So yeah, those are my 4.
Nice.
For sure.
And then we have to switch it around at some point and be like, the 4 most comforting things that the things that you watch under a blanket with a bowl of ice cream.
The palate cleansers.
There you go. Yes, perfect. Yeah. Watch some slam dunk. So, but yeah, cool.
Well, thank you for having me, guys. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Social media and whatnot for you.
You can find me at Medium Ugly But Funny on Instagram, and that's pretty much it.
All right, Medium Ugly But Funny.
Sure, yeah.
Dude, I give you more credit than that. It's the mustache. I mean, you got that sort of like that David Allen Greer from the '90s sort of mustache going on. I think.
One of these years I'm gonna do what's his name, Lando Calrissian.
Okay. Yeah. Donald Glover or Billy D. Williams.
I mean, tomato, right?
Okay, fair. So, nice. All right, gentlemen. I think we're good at this point. Day, you got anything else?
Pretty much out of ammo.
All right, cool. Sir, take us out then.
All right, so I'm Davion. That's Obi-Wan.
ObiWanKenobi.
ObiWanKenobi. And that's Scott. And we're Tales from the Field, and we're out of here.